Congratulations, America. We've all made it. This will be the single last week that Stephen Colbert will ever have a corporate TV network talk show. He's had one continuously for the last 3 years, often bragging on his show that he won television, he won TV. He got his late night TV show, the coveted slot, one of the longest running legacy programs, and he destroyed it. He killed it. He actually ended the show entirely. They're not giving it over to another host. He so decimated late night TV with his political activism and outright baby sacrifice for success. Just a reminder, if you're feeling even remotely nostalgic, that Stephen Colbert did sacrifice a baby to Moloch once live on TV. If you haven't seen this, it's disturbing. It doesn't come off as a joke to me. It comes off as Stephen Colbert actually wanting to sacrifice children for his own success. And this is something that we know happens in Hollywood. It's something that Stephen Colbert didn't mind one little bit. And he said this at the end of the bit.
I'm sure the baby will be fine.
He said, I'm sure the baby will be fine, as he gives the baby to Satan. This is what Hollywood people do for fame and success. And, well, they do one other thing for fame and success. They deliver the message. And this slow motion train wreck has been such a delight to watch and cover from our channel, because it has been a practice in how, if you betray your audience and if you turn your platform into propaganda for parties and messages that people hate, right? A reminder, Trump won the popular vote. Nearly 35 states voted for Donald Trump. Donald Trump won the presidency in a landslide. We are the majority in this country. Stephen Colbert did a vaccine segment for 2 straight years where he used his program to propagandize young people into getting a Pfizer shot that would end up destroying their lives. That's what all available studies say. The CDC, the FDA, the state of Florida. Listen, this is prima facie evil. And nobody else went this hard in the paint for the propaganda. And now Stephen Colbert has suffered by destroying his show and his audience. And here's what I find absolutely fascinating when you actually dig down into the numbers. When you look at the numbers, if you do an AI overview, Stephen Colbert, because it's his last week, is actually getting decent show numbers. Now, these used to be in the tens of millions when I was growing up, but now it's been whittled down to 2 million and everybody's fighting for scraps. But Stephen Colbert is doing better than Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon. He's doing a lot better, outpacing his competitors. So what does that mean for Jimmy Kimmel's show and Jimmy Fallon's show? All of them need to be thrown in the garbage, to be perfectly honest with you. All of them have become unwatchable. And again, the raw total numbers for late night have been whittled down to nothing. While Colbert frequently takes the ratings crown for network TV, look at this little note down here. He dominates standard network television that is taxpayer funded. Cable's Gutfeld on Fox draws larger aggregate audience across late night. So Fox News, which people have to pay for, people get Stephen Colbert show for free, right? Because they are federally licensed broadcasters. Fox News dominates. So Stephen Colbert has been delivering the message hardcore in his final shows. And again, this is Stephen Colbert's final week. So he has decided to engage in makeout sessions with multiple guests on his program, including Pedro Pascal, there you go, including Jimmy Fallon, who's also a late night host who competes with Stephen Colbert. So it's like turned into a guy on guy makeout session. This is what they're doing, and then also a scissoring
Flip
session,
the other guy
with John Krasinski, to his great humiliation. By the way, this is when Stephen Colbert was doing shots of whiskey late into the evening, and then doing a scissoring operation here with John Krasinski. Okay, fine. You know, call it what you will. I call it pathetic spiraling on live TV. and just not caring any longer. There you go. Deliver the message. So why is Stephen Colbert doing all of this? He's doing all of this at the very end at his final shows in order to signal to Hollywood, please, I beg of you, keep hiring me. I will continue to sacrifice children to Moloch. I will continue to deliver your message for you. And this one takes the cake. Stephen Colbert is now crying, sobbing, actually, over Hillary Clinton's election loss. In the weirdest possible way. One, he's going over graphics that they made to celebrate Hillary Clinton's victory in 2016.
The darkest version of Graphics Graveyard. Hillary Clinton, 45th president of the United States. Oh, grow up. It all worked out fine.
Self-introspective humor there, I think, is very interesting. And Stephen Colbert, again, delivering the message, saying that he was going to have a bunch of naked men announce Hillary Clinton's victory in 2016. This is the kind of comedy that President Trump saved us from.
The 2016 presidential election, we were doing a live special on Showtime and no commercial breaks. And as the results started to come in, it became clear that we had planned for a different outcome. We were so sure that the New York Times prediction needle was right, we hired a bunch of naked male models with the words, "I'm with her," painted on their full plump butts. Sadly, all of those models had to be put down. But first, we tried to save the bit. And as the outcome became clear,
I have no idea why he's eating here. Stephen Colbert is eating and drinking on set every single night. It's disgusting.
Painted their butts to say, "We're." And as the outcome became clear, we repainted their butts to say, "We're." And between those two butt bits, and this is totally true, our co-executive producer, Matt Lapin, was backstage screaming into his headset, "Scrub the butts!" Right, Matt? Is that right?
That's right. It was more like, "Scrub the butts! Scrub the butts!"
This is the executive producer. This guy's hilarious. Look at the yellow teeth. Look at like the sad, bitter, angry, vengeful. Like this is why you get no comedy in late night, because of people like this. They're not writing out of joy, humor, or takes on life. They're writing out of hatred.
It's a very upsetting night.
Oh. I had forgotten how upsetting that was, Matt.
That night, even the butts cried.
Oh.
That's the co-executive producer of the Colbert Show. That explains everything. So good riddance. This is probably the guy that brought you the vaccine. This is the guy who brought you the vaccine. Do you understand? Does it make sense now? They're not writing out of love or out of concern for their audience. They're writing out of hatred, and it shows. And sad, it's pathetic. And at the very least, I am appreciative for the final laughs that we're getting here, which are laughs of irony, as we watch Stephen Colbert's ultimate final meltdown. Ladies and gentlemen, we win again. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe for actual comedy every once in a while. See ya.